Daughter of Second Dawn. The silence between my names. Mira's life began with absence. She grew up as an orphan, moving from one foster home to another, carrying her belongings in small suitcases that never seemed to stay unpacked for long. Each home offered a different version of childhood. Some families tried to be kind, but were overwhelmed by their own struggles. Others treated foster children like temporary guests who should not grow too comfortable. Through it all, Mira learned how to survive quietly. She became polite, helpful, and careful not to ask for too much. Deep inside, however, she longed for something simple, a place where she would be chosen and allowed to stay. School became her safest refuge. In classrooms, she could focus on books and lessons instead of the uncertainty waiting at home. Stories of brave characters and happy endings gave her hope that life could be different someday. Teachers sometimes noticed her quiet determination and praised her efforts, but when the school day ended, Mira still returned to homes that never truly felt like her own. As the years passed, the constant changes began to shape her personality. She became strong, independent, and observant, but also cautious about trusting others. Each time she began to feel attached to a family, circumstances changed and she was moved again. By the time she entered her teenage years, Mira had already learned the painful lesson that promises could easily disappear. When she was 16, she was placed in another foster home that at first seemed normal. The house was large and the family appeared welcoming. For a brief moment, she allowed herself to hope again. But the man who was supposed to protect her eventually betrayed that trust in a way that left her frightened and broken. The experience shattered the fragile sense of safety she had built over the years. Feeling alone and convinced that no one would believe her, Mira made the desperate decision to run away. She packed the few things she owned and left quietly before dawn. The world outside felt overwhelming, but staying felt impossible. The city she arrived in was full of bright lights, busy streets, and endless noise. Yet behind the excitement was a harsh reality for someone with no money or family. For several days, she struggled to find shelter and food. Eventually, she met other young women who were surviving by working at a club. They explained the rules of the streets and how to protect herself as best as possible. With nowhere else to go, Mira accepted a job at the club. Life there was exhausting and emotionally draining. She encountered many men whose attention felt empty and transactional. To endure it all, she built invisible walls around her heart. She told herself that this was simply how the world worked, and that expecting kindness would only lead to disappointment. Still, a small part of her refused to give up completely. Somewhere deep inside, she believed that her life could still change. That change began on an ordinary evening. A man named Daniel entered the club. Unlike the others, he did not carry the restless energy of someone looking for entertainment. Instead, he seemed quiet and thoughtful, as if the noise around him did not belong to him. When Mira approached his table, she prepared herself for the usual conversation. Instead, Daniel asked simple questions about her life and whether she had eaten that day. His respectful tone surprised her. No one in that place spoke to her with such sincerity. Over the following weeks, Daniel returned several times, not to take advantage of her, but simply to talk. They spoke about books, travel, and small memories from childhood. Mira slowly realized that Daniel saw her as a person rather than an object. One evening, he carefully offered her another option. He needed help caring for his elderly aunt and managing small tasks around his home. The job would be safe and honest. At first, Mira hesitated. Trust had failed her before, and she feared being hurt again. But Daniel never pressured her. He simply gave her a card and said she could call if she ever wanted a different life. Eventually, hope won over fear. Accepting Daniel's offer became the turning point of Mira's life. In his home, she experienced small but powerful acts of kindness. warm meals, peaceful evenings, and conversations where her thoughts mattered. Daniel's aunt treated her gently, and slowly Mira began to feel something she had not known in years: security. As time passed, Mira and Daniel formed a deep bond. Daniel admired her resilience and intelligence, while Mira felt grateful for the stability he provided. Together, they began traveling, exploring places Mira had only imagined before. Seeing new countries and cultures opened her world in ways she never expected. Their connection eventually grew into love. For the first time, Mira believed she had finally found the happiness she had searched for since childhood. Daniel, who had lived many years searching for his true love, also felt hope. After much thought, they decided to marry. However, while preparing the documents needed for their marriage, Daniel arranged for an investigator to help locate Mira's biological family history. The discovery that followed changed everything. The investigator revealed that Mira's biological mother was a woman named Elena Cruz. Daniel immediately recognized the name. Elena had been the great love of his youth, a woman who disappeared many years ago while pregnant. He had spent years wondering what had happened to her and to the child they never had the chance to raise. The truth was devastating. Mira was that child. The woman he planned to marry was actually his daughter. The revelation brought shock, confusion, and heartbreak to them both. Mira felt as if her life had been torn apart once again. Daniel was filled with guilt and sorrow, terrified that he had unknowingly harmed the child he once longed to protect. Despite the overwhelming pain, they refused to let the truth destroy them. Instead, they faced it with courage. Through counseling, honest conversations, and patience, they slowly redefined their relationship. The romantic love they once shared transformed into something deeper, a father and daughter finally finding each other after years of separation. Daniel devoted himself to supporting Mira's healing journey. He encouraged her education and reminded her constantly that her past did not define her future. For the first time, Mira experienced the steady love of a parent who truly cared about her well-being. Inspired by everything she had endured, Mira chose to help others. She pursued studies that allowed her to support vulnerable young women. Eventually, she created a small foundation, the Lantern of Hope Foundation, that provided shelter, guidance, and counseling to girls escaping dangerous situations. Through this work, Mira discovered a powerful truth. Her painful experiences could become a source of compassion and strength for others. During this new chapter of her life, she met Raphael, a kind teacher who volunteered at the foundation. Raphael admired Mira not only for her resilience, but also for her generosity. Their friendship grew slowly and naturally, built on honesty and mutual respect. Over time, their connection blossomed into love. With Daniel's blessing, Raphael eventually asked Mira to marry him. On a beautiful day beside the sea, surrounded by friends and the family she had finally found, Mira walked down the aisle with Daniel proudly at her side. Her life began with loneliness, instability, and deep wounds. Yet, through courage, compassion, and the unexpected return of family, her story transformed into one of healing, hope, and faith. Mira's journey proved that even the darkest beginnings can lead to a life filled with purpose, love, and light, and that sometimes the greatest miracles appear when people choose forgiveness, truth, and the courage to begin again. Her life began with loneliness and hardship, yet through courage, truth, and the unexpected return of family, her story transformed into one of healing, hope, and faith. The foundation house is filled with laughter now. Mira sits on the steps watching new girls arrive, frightened the way she once was. She tells them, "Your past is a chapter, not the whole book." Daniel visits every Sunday with homemade soup. Raphael drives the van for outreach. Their family is stitched from truth rather than secrets. At night, Mira lights small lanterns in the garden. Each flame is a life changed, including her own. She understands at last that happiness did not erase the past, it grew from it. Her past remained part of her, but it no longer ruled her. From orphan to daughter, from victim to healer, Mira finally stepped into the morning light, surrounded by family, faith, and a mission that would carry hope for generations. The girl who once ran through the night has become the woman who carries the light. Author's note. This story is a reminder that even the deepest wounds can be transformed by faith, love, and the grace of God. Healing is not linear, and courage is not the absence of pain, but the choice to move forward despite it. Every survivor's story is sacred, and every prayer whispered in the darkness has the power to illuminate a path towards hope. By helping others through the foundation, Mira and Daniel turned their own healing